What's on, guys? Today's Monday, and the market is a little bit fluctuating. All right, so through the weekends, you probably saw that Bitcoin went down in price, Ethereum went down in price, anything crypto related went down in price, which is also why I've been talking about wanting to create an overall crypto video, which I did. It's kind of a short video, I think about 5 minutes or so on my channel. Head over to my channel to watch the video, or I'll maybe put up a card somewhere up here. Just click on it. It's a quick link. Okay, I basically talk about the certain risk that you are going to be entering if you're going to be getting into cryptocurrency for this current recession cycle that might be coming. And of course, today is the 9th of May, which is also the victory day for Russia or the Soviet Union. And there are most likely going to be a lot of worries or concern or bearish catalyst that's going to be happening in the market. If you look at your S&P, you look at your NASDAQ, your QQQ, all of them are basically down about 2% or so. Okay, and it's very, very worrisome for us because you don't usually see 2% down in the pre-market. And also because on Friday, the after hours didn't really show any sort of that bearish connotation either. So it's very, very troublesome for us to really see it in the pre-market because it simply means that in the open hours, there will only be more volatility. I'm pretty sure that the VIX should most likely be spiking up crazily right now. Let's see if I can find the VIX up here. Okay. Yeah, the VIX is up. So, which is why I do think that the volatility index is definitely going to be fluctuating a huge amount today and tomorrow, most likely. Which is why, okay, like I said before, hedge. I cannot really say this enough because for me, I don't mind limiting my upside if I can protect my downside. And the way I do hedge it, I limit my upside by a lot and I create unlimited downside, but at the same time, those unlimited downside is kind of being promised at a return. So I'm not that worried at the same time. So yeah, I do think that, this market is definitely going to be a very, very well one. But anyway, let's cover some news today. All right, so let's talk about the stocks future falling as bond yield edge higher. And for people who do not know, the bond yields at the moment for the 10-year treasury is currently at 3.17%. Okay, we have not seen this level since 2017, I believe. At about 2017, that was the last time we saw something along the line of 3.17% yield. So very, very, very scary for us, especially because people are starting to kind of price in more inflation fears. Okay. So over here you can see, S&P down 1.5%, NASDAQ down 1.7%, the Dow down 1.2%. Okay, the 10-year went 3.171% from on Monday from 3.124 on Friday. So yeah, pretty scary that I was thinking that, honestly speaking, I was expecting us to hit 3, and chances are we will most likely be moving away from it. But well, certainly that wasn't the case. I was expecting us to really kind of just top out at about 3.1, and then afterwards it would just kind of slow back down to about 2.6, 2.7 again, and then hopefully with interest rate going up, bond yields would eventually go down because people will start to get in on the bonds again. That was kind of like my whole mindset around it, but clearly that's not the case. It's going up and up and up, and of course with inflation numbers being constant fear as well, which on Wednesday we will be going through the CPI expectation. Just nice, that will also be my video on Wednesday. So it's quite simple. I will release the video in the afternoon for people who are in Singapore. I'll release it in the afternoon. If you want to watch it first, and then at about 8:30, we'll be going through the CPI report. And I'll most likely be making a video about that as well. So we'll see how that actually goes on from there on out. All right, so if we move on from here, a day after Mr. Powell comments, stock fell sharply and the decline continued through Friday, extending a losing streak for the US market, in which the S&P 500 and NASDAQ Composite Index has now fallen for 5 straight weeks. So yeah, all the indexes has been falling for 5 straight weeks. That's why the thing is that, honestly, if you have been in the market year to date, Okay, if you have been in the market from January, you have been in the market in February and March or whatever it is, chances are you lost money. Okay, I've lost a lot of money as well. Okay, I just make a few money making trades and then I lose money on my long term trades because those are all bleeding out. But I do have money making trades, trying to kind of cushion the fall a little bit. But of course, it's still gonna be it still hurts. Okay, it still hurts. Down like 30%, easily more than 40% actually, on some of my trades as well. So pretty bad, pretty bad. But yeah, which is why we are, it's not just me. I'm pretty sure that the entire market is starting to feel it as well. A lot of people are really starting to think that we are most likely already in a recession without us really knowing about it. So that's kind of like the fear that we are having in the market at the moment. So yeah. Brent prices actually fell, which is all right. And I'm looking at Occidental Petroleum, which is also down a little bit. So definitely going to be a good thing. Occidental Petroleum was hovering about $50, $60, and then afterwards it actually shot all the way up to $65 in hopes that Victory Day was going to be something scary, and then people would kind of worry that if Victory Day was something huge, oil prices would definitely want to skyrocket up, and that was like the concern that we actually have. But of course, as of now, it's starting to dwindle down a little bit. But of course, we're going to talk a little bit more about Victory Day as well. So over here, you can see Russian and Ukrainian forces engaged in strikes and counteroffensive over the weekend ahead of Moscow's Monday commemoration of World War II, with Kiev bracing for possible heavy attacks or a stepped-up mobilization effort by President Vladimir Putin. So, like I said before, on the 9th of May, which is today, it is Victory Day. Okay, that's basically the commemoration day that they have for defeating the Nazi back in World War II. And because of that, definitely Ukrainian forces would definitely be a little bit more worried because they have to brace themselves for an imminent attack. Okay, they are thinking that there will definitely be some form of an offensive attack that will be happening on such a important day for the Soviet Union and the Russians. So it makes sense for them to kind of be more worried. But of course, over here you can see that like in Ukraine East, authorities said Sunday that a Russian airstrike in the Luhansk region was believed to have killed some 60 villagers who had taken refuge in a school. And it's scary because when you start to talk about this kind of thing, like military personnel and army, fights and war fights, whatever it is, okay, people die and such. But when it comes to civilians, it becomes a little bit more worrisome. And I'm happy for the Ukrainians who are trying their best to really want to fight for the country and such. But I'm not sure if that's going to be helping much for this whole entire fight as well. So that's kind of like my worry as well. I'm pretty sure that because the Russian forces have already treated as Mariupol being liberated and such. But I do think that at some point in today alone, we are thinking that there is a good possible chance that there will be some form of a liberation of some other part of Ukraine that's mostly going to be happening. That's just my own opinion. I'm not sure. Of course, my best hope is that nothing happened and the war ends hopefully. But it's just a very, very tiring scenario for us to really go through. The US also announced new sanctions targeting Russian state-controlled media and banking executive, a ban on American providing accounting and management consulting services, and new export controls targeting the country's industrial sector. This is basically just talking about the whole 9 yards, about the whole entire Russian and Ukraine's history and such. All right, next up we got Fed rate hikes are good for banks unless they end in a recession. So like I said before, okay, I do think that the more we hear about the FOMC meetings where, rates are going up, chances are JP Morgan, your Credit Suisse, your Morgan Stanley, your Goldman Sachs, your Charles Schwab's, all these are banking stocks, banking companies. These are definitely going to be good shares for you to buy into. like they said in the headlines as well, unless they end in a recession, and I wouldn't want to say that a recessionary trend, banks are usually the one that take the biggest hit, but usually it seems to be the case. So of course, just be a little bit more cautious in the market. But I do think that yes, it's correct. I do think that J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Charles Schwab's, Credit Suisse, Citigroup, all these companies are definitely going to be good buys. Closing into the recession. Of course, if we are expecting to time a recession, you can maybe start to buy into these bank stocks 2 months from now, possibly hoping that the recession is going to be happening in the next quarter and such. But I'm not sure how this is going to be working out. But like I said before, banks are definitely going to be good for interest rate hikes, because the higher the Fed increases the rate, the more the banks are actually allowed to charge in terms of interest and such. And that's kind of how they kind of build their revenue streams and such. So yeah, pretty good on that part. All right, next up we have, Putin invokes World War II Nazi fight to justify the invasion. Because over here they basically, all right, I'm not going to talk much about it because I talked about it earlier as well. So basically, because Putin kind of is accusing the West for provoking the Kremlin into action, saying like how this was actually what happened back in the World War II as well. And of course, right now with how the invasion basically stopped for 10 weeks straight now, of course that's going to be a little bit worrisome as well. But I'm not sure what Putin is actually thinking about anymore. I don't think that he really have an end goal in mind anymore. But of course, today we're definitely going to be finding out, because if today something huge happened, chances are that's going to be the big thing that he's actually thinking about doing, and that's most likely going to be like an end goal sort of thing. And if he don't do anything today, chances are this is going to be drawn out into a very, very long occupation, maybe 2, 3, 4 years or so, and that's going to be a whole nother chapter for us to really go through slowly with a fine-tooth comb to see what's the intricate details that we can go through via this whole entire invasion, this whole entire occupation that's going to be happening in Ukraine. All right, anyway, final news. We have Rivian slumps amid a report Ford is selling shares at a discount. So I'm going to show you guys my calendar. Over here, if you look on the 9th, I already set up a lockup for Rivian Ford expiry. So I actually put that up because the thing is that the first time that I read up about it was about Rivian, was that Amazon and Ford actually bought into Rivian. I didn't like Rivian as a company, even though I like the R1T, I like the R1S. I think that they are great vehicles, but I don't think that it's a good company. And of course, it not being a good company, on top of that, you also have a lot of hype because of how Amazon and Ford is being invested into this bad company. Okay, and because of that, a lot of people kind of just overhyped the price. Rivian went all the way to $120 or so. And I was like, at about $90, I was like, short. And I kept shorting Rivian, and I made a lot of money shorting Rivian. I'm not gonna lie. I made a lot of money buying puts on Rivian. I made a lot of money shorting Rivian. So I'm very, very happy that Rivian was a good short for me. However, what I am kind of worried about is that because Ford is also going to be selling off all their Rivian share. Well, not all of the Rivian share, but some of the shares at a huge discount. And when they actually do that, then that's going to be forcing somewhat of a troublesome thing for Ford as well. Because if Ford suddenly sells off, chances are Ford is going to be reporting a very, very bad quarter. But of course, that would also mean that we will definitely have a buy. Well, I would say buying opportunity, but at the same time, we will also have a playing opportunity for Ford as a name, which is why I would definitely put Ford into my watch list in the next quarter or so. I think that's going to be very, very, very interesting for us to really look into. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have much for today's news. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.